Hello friends. So today we are going to discuss this year's question paper, that is 2025 GS paper 1. It was on usual lines the way the questions are asked, and one or two questions were also repeated. Now the first question was this year 2025, how are climate change and sea level rise are affecting the very existence of various island nations. जो छोटे छोटे island nations हैं, their existence is at stake because of climate change and sea level rise. How? See, climate change and sea level rise are an existential threat to most of the low-lying island nations because of several reasons. First, as the sea level is rising, the rate of coastal erosion is increasing. So the size of island is decreasing. The rate of coastal erosion is increasing, and because of rise in sea level, coastal areas of islands are getting submerged. Because of this submergence, the habitat is shrinking. That is, there's a contraction of habitat जहां पर लोग रह सकते हैं, because the coastal areas are getting submerged. This transgression of sea into the island is also increasing the salinization of coastal aquifers. जो coastal areas में fresh water aquifers underlying, they are getting salinized. Thus, the availability of fresh water is decreasing. Now, because of increased sea level rise, the frequency and intensity of coastal flooding by way of waves, by way of tides, and by way of storms is increasing because of rise in sea level. There's increased frequency of extreme weather events like tropical cyclone, storm surge. Their frequency is increasing. As a result, many island nations, for example, Maldives, 80% area of Maldives is below 1 meter above sea level. Now, it is made up of group of coral islands, atolls. Atolls are usually low-lying. In West Pacific Ocean, atoll island, these islands, coral islands are numerous. All are having existential threat. Most of them, except a few of them which are high. Most of the coral islands are low-lying. Maldives is no exception to it. Its 80% area is just above 1 meter above sea level, putting the nation at the risk of storm surge, tsunami, and rising seas. So rising sea level से, storm surge से, tsunami से, it is at threat. Flooding is very common scenario in Maldives because of its low elevation. Flooding is very common. The nation suffers from coastal erosion, salinization, frequent storms, and flooding. So Maldives' existence is at threat. Apart from it, several islands in Pacific Ocean, among them Tuvalu and Kiribati, are two islands whose height above average sea level is less than 2 meters. Tuvalu and Kiribati are exceptional because they are very low lying. Most of the population of Tuvalu lives on less than 2 meters above sea level. In 2015 एक tropical cyclone आया था, and as a result sea waves rose and the water level on the island got 4 to 5 times higher than the island itself. 2015 में जब tropical cyclone आया तो storm surge or waves rose that were 4 to 5 times higher than the island itself. तो island का पूरा land area got submerged. So the people of Tuvalu are slowly migrating to Australia. They have purchased a land. They had a deal with Australia. So people are migrating to Australia. Kiribati में भी यही scenario है. Kiribati has purchased a land in Fiji because it is low-lying. Salinization, flooding has become very common. If you have ever been to these coral islands, you will be surprised to see यहाँ से समुद्र देखना अलग होता है. जब तुम coral islands पे खड़े होते हैं and you see the sea at the same level, it is scary. It is scary because even high tide, the water washes through a coast. मतलब low-lying islands पे खड़े होकर समुद्र को देखना, it may be scary for some people because sea level is exactly at your level. यहाँ से गेटवे ऑफ इंडिया से मुंबई से समुद्र देखना अलग चीज़ है because you are standing at a high elevation. But from coral islands, you are exactly at sea level. Kiribati again faces from the same problem. It has purchased land in Fiji. Here, rising sea level have already contaminated freshwater aquifers and degraded agricultural land. Yet another glaring example is that of Republic of Palau. Republic of Palau, like many other low-lying archipelago, it is prone to tropical cyclone and coastal erosion, and it is often flooded with seawater. अब सी वाटर की फ्लडिंग से इट नॉट ओनली contaminates the fresh water, but when sea water frequently transgresses on the land, it makes the soil saline, and thus it hampers agriculture. Agriculture is rendered impossible. Same is the case with Palau. It is often flooded with seawater, which is not only dangerous to resident, but is also detrimental to agriculture. Most arable land has been rendered uncultivable due to transgression of saline seawater salinization. The agriculture has been rendered impossible. So these were the examples. एक और छोटा सा क्वेश्चन आया था, what are non farm primary activities? सिंपल था, how are these activities related to physiographic features in India? Now see, non farm primary activities are those where people are engaged in extraction of resources from nature. Primary activities are those activities where resources are extracted directly from nature. Non-farm means apart from agriculture. What are the non-farm primary activities? Like hunting, gathering, lumbering, fishing, forestry, mining, quarrying. These all are primary activities, non-farm primary activities. How are they related to physiographic features? Now, forestry. In India, basically, forestry is possible only where the dense forests are there. Forests are mostly confined to Western Ghats, Himalayan region, and in some parts of central India. So these are the areas where forests are existing because of adequate rainfall. Western Ghats lie perpendicular to this southwest monsoon, so they receive copious rainfall. Dense forests are there. Himalayas are also perpendicular to monsoon, so they also have dense forests, especially eastern Himalayas. Andaman Nicobar mostly tribally inhabited, but they are also densely forested because year-round rainfall. And in central India, we have dense forests. So it is an important activity in hilly and mountainous regions where dense forests are found. Forestry. Second, fishing. India has extensive coastline, 7,516 kilometer long coastline. This enables or facilitates fishing not only in estuaries, deltas, backwaters, but also deep sea fishing. Mining. Mining operations in India are mostly confined to plateau region. The Peninsula Plateau, which is basically the most ancient part of Indian landmass, is having rich repository of minerals like Chota Nagpur Plateau, known as rural land of India, like Dandakaran Plateau, huge deposits of iron ore, like basically this Mysore Plateau, gold mines. So basically these activities, these mining activities are mostly, mining and quarrying activities are mostly confined to plateau region. Apart from which, India is a tropical rainforest, tropical monsoonic country. So bamboo is the natural vegetation in terms of grasses. वैसे तो tropical deciduous forests are there. Bamboos are grassy undergrowth is usually found in the form of bamboo. Its life cycle is just 2 to 3 years. Bamboo lumbering is a very important activity in bamboo growing areas like Mizoram, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, MP, Maharashtra. These are the areas where bamboo grows rapidly, and basically lumbering is very important activity. Now, next, explain briefly the ecological and economic benefits of solar energy generation. It is a repeated question. It has been asked in previous years twice. Explain briefly the ecological and economic benefits of solar energy generation. See, India being a tropical country, it receives abundant sunshine for most part of the year. So solar energy is pivotal for ensuring reliable and long-term energy security of the country. It is a reliable source of energy, and for ensuring long-term energy security, solar energy is pivotal. It goes a long way in reducing carbon footprints, thus ensuring eco-friendly source of energy. अब इंडिया के पास वी डोंट हैव सच लार्ज रिजर्व्स ऑफ ऑयल एंड गैस, फॉसल फ्यूल्स, एंड कोल इज हाईली पोल्यूटिंग. Being a tropical country, Tropic of Cancer passes through middle of it. The northern part which also receives copious sunshine. So there's huge potential for solar energy generation in India. अब से फायदा क्या होता है? अब देखो प्रेजेंटली हमारे यहाँ एज ऑफ जुलाई 2025 I discussed solar energy installed capacity of electricity generation of solar energy is 119 gigawatt, and this has been achieved in the last 10 years. Solar energy installed energy generation, installed capacity of electricity generation. And since independence, coal fired thermal power stations are operating, and the total installed capacity of coal fired thermal power station is 220 gigawatt. See, in just last 10 years, the solar energy accounts for 55% of the total based energy generation centers. Now, total installed capacity of electricity generation by coal is 220 gigawatt, and that of solar energy is 119. That is almost 55%. The pace at which it is increasing, it is a reliable source of energy. Matlab, we are well on track to achieve 450 gigawatt by 2030. Total renewable energy, not solar, total renewable energy, that is 450 to 500 gigawatt by 2030. Total renewable energy to India ki, it is already 247. Total non-fossil fuel based installed capacity of electricity generation is 247 gigawatt. So basically we are well on track. Now solar energy can ensure energy security. Basically what happens, solar energy reduces India's dependence on fossil fuel, promoting energy security. एक तो हमारी energy security promote करती है, plus reducing India's reliance on foreign sources, because it is our native source, our indigenous source of energy. This promotes energy security and reduces our reliance on foreign energy sources. It mitigates or shields, solar energy shields the economy from the impact of fluctuating oil prices. मतलब कभी भी कोई वॉर हो जाता है मिडिल ईस्ट में या कहीं भी और एनर्जी सप्लाई इज डिसरप्टेड, दिस लीड्स टू escalation in the prices of fuel. So if we are having sufficient solar energy generation capacity, it shields us from the shocks of oil price fluctuation and ensures stable energy supply. Of solar energy is non-polluting. It reduces greenhouse emission. Coal-fired thermal power stations are highly polluting. They pollute air, they pollute water, everything, and emit greenhouse gases. Solar energy, it reduces greenhouse emission. It reduces air pollution. It reduces water pollution. Thus, India's commitment to environmental sustainability is reinforced. And above all, this solar energy is also generating additional avenues of employment by way of manufacturing plant, establishing manufacturing plant for manufacturing solar panels, for installation, for maintenance, manpower is required. So it generates additional avenues of employment and contributes to economic growth. और सबसे बड़ी बात है, our grid network is not spread to every nook and corner of the country. Like in Ladakh, it is far from it is अभी तक तो जाने का भी रास्ता ठीक ठाक नहीं था. Recently, in last 10 years, the connectivity has been strengthened. Otherwise, there is no grid network. In such remote and isolated areas where there is no grid network, solar panels can be installed, and then they can be a sustainable source of energy. And basically, this bridges the gap between the regions and promote growth. Now, with more and more technological advancements, such sensitive and efficient solar panels are being developed, whose power generation capacity is very high. They are very efficient. So the cost of generating power is also reducing. Solar panels are also becoming cheap, and they are becoming more efficient. So technological advancement in solar energy is making them more efficient, decreasing the cost of solar energy and making it more of a viable alternative. And as I discussed, since now solar energy is contributing significantly to total energy generation, so it is a viable, solar energy is a viable alternate source that can be used for energy mix. By integrating solar energy into the energy mix, we are effectively bringing down the carbon footprints. अब पिछले 78 साल में टोटल कोल बेस्ड installed capacity इतनी थी. In last 10 years the solar energy installed capacity is this much. This shows that instead of going for solar coal fired thermal power station, if we go for solar energy based installed energy capacity, then the carbon footprints of coal fired thermal power stations can be reduced significantly. Next, ये भी repeated था. Next question is, what are tsunamis? Tsunamis क्या होती हैं? How and where they are formed? कैसे बनती हैं, कहाँ बनती हैं? What are the consequences? इनके consequences क्या आते हैं? Explain with examples. Tsunamis are also known as seismic sea waves. They are massive ocean waves. मतलब if this is land, this is beach, this is sea. Tsunamis are massive ocean waves up to 25 to 30 feet high. 25 to 30 feet high. They don't break like ordinary waves. Ordinary waves are the result of friction of wind. Tsunamis are the result of internal changes like plate tectonics, volcanic eruption, or basically landslides inside the sea. Tsunami waves are very high. They don't break. They may be 25 to 30 meters high. Tsunamis are produced due to large scale. Tsunamis are also known as seismic waves, are massive ocean waves that are caused by underwater earthquake. समुद्र के अंदर अर्थक्वेक आए, या वॉल्केनिक इरप्शन, या अंडर सी लैंडस्लाइड. Tsunamis are produced due to displacement of immense volume of water. जैसे what happens, suppose this is one plate, this is another plate subducting below another plate, this is ocean. Tsunamis are produced because of massive displacement of sea water. This is open sea. This is open sea. One plate is subducting below the other plate. This plate is subducting below this plate. Tsunamis are produced due to large scale displacement of immense volume of sea water due to sudden tectonic disturbance in sea floor. Now, you can cite the example of 2004, December 2004 tsunami, where the Indo-Australian plate got subducted below Burma plate. For example, see this. This was the zone of subduction. Indo-Australian plate got subducted below the Burma plate, Myanmar plate. Burma plate is part of Asiatic plate. As a result of this subduction, the upper plate got upthrusted. ये plate ऊपर की 10 to 12 feet, the plate got upthrusted. As a result of this upthrust, the entire volume of water got displaced, and that generated tsunami. Basically, tsunamis are produced due to large scale displacement of immense volume of water, sea water, due to sudden tectonic disturbance in sea floor. For example, in this case, when the Indo-Australian plate got subducted below Burma plate, this upthrusted the upper plate by 10 to 12 meters. The sea floor got uplifted by 10 to 12 meters because of this subduction, and which led to immense volume of water that is displaced. That displaced immense volume of sea water that generated tsunamis. Now, where do they get formed? Basically, they can get formed anywhere in open sea where 4 factors operate. In open sea, if there is an earthquake, suppose this is sea, in open sea, if an earthquake of intensity more than 7.5 on Richter scale occurs anywhere in open sea, if earthquake क्या है? It is a vibration of earth crust. When vibration takes place, the earth gets dislocated, which also displaces immense volume of water. Anywhere inside the sea, if an earthquake takes place on sea floor and the magnitude of earthquake is more than 7.5 on Richter scale, that can lead to tsunami. Second cause is undersea landslides. Landslides under the sea are caused because of tectonic movement. When plates move, at times a part of the slab gets dislocated. जैसे because of sudden tectonic movement, some lithospheric plates, when they subduct, some of the land area on continental shelf or continental slope, it gets dislocated and slump inside the sea, which causes sea to rise, and that generates tsunami. Massive landslides caused by sudden tectonic movement displace seawater upward. जब लैंडस्लाइड करेगा, it will displace seawater upward, that generates tsunami. और तीसरा cause है when two plates converge, the heavier plate gets subducted. As a result of the sudden subduction, the plate gets upthrusted, it gets uplifted, and like the tsunami of 2004, upthrusting along the plate margin, which causes sudden upward movement of immense volume of seawater, generating tsunamis. Sudden upward movement of seawater. Or fourth is volcanic eruption. Volcanic eruption either on the sea floor or volcanic eruption of any island located in the sea. Volcanic eruption में क्या होता है? Vibration. Yes, it vibrates. It causes sea water to rise. Volcanic eruption, या तो magma will upwell on the sea floor like mid-oceanic ridges, or any volcanic island is there like Krakatoa, which is located between Sumatra and Java. Krakatoa volcano erupted in 1883 that generated 35 meters high tsunamis. So basically, volcanic eruption either inside this on the sea floor or volcanic eruption of any island located in sea can generate tsunamis. Now, what are the consequences? Consequences are very disastrous. It causes massive loss of life and property. There's no chance to evacuate. Hardly 30 minutes before the advent of tsunami, the warnings are issued. जो वार्निंग इशू होती है वो बजट सुनामी आने से 30 मिनट्स पहले, और 30 मिनट में भागने का कोई चांस नहीं होता, बिकॉज सुनामी नॉट ओनली इंडेंडेट्स द बीच बट द सी वाटर ट्रांसग्रेसेस सेवरल माइल्स इनसाइड द लैंड टेरिटरी. It is so massive, it destroys all the coastal infrastructure, boats, buildings, bridges, cars, trees are uprooted, telephone lines, power lines, all are disrupted. They continue to travel several miles inland. मतलब भाग के बचने का कोई चांस नहीं है. Areas close to the coast are flooded, damaging infrastructure along with sewage and water pipeline. Flooding and contamination of drinking water can cause disease to spread, and most likely in the coastal areas close to the coast, matlab the drinking water gets contaminated and infections spread in the area after the recession of tsunami. Solid waste and disaster debris pile up. मतलब इतना ज़्यादा कबाड़ा इकट्ठा हो जाता है. इफ़ यू सी इन पिक्चर्स एंड मतलब एक तो मैन मेड स्ट्रक्चर्स होते हैं, उनका कबाड़ा डेब्रिस होता है, एंड मोर ओवर सॉलिड वेस्ट बेसिकली गेट पाइल्ड अप इन द एंटायर एरिया. Salinization of water bodies like rivers, wells, lakes and groundwater aquifers occurs in most cases. और सबसे बड़ी बात है, जैसे 2004 में सुनामी आई थी, तो दिस ब्रिंग्स ह्यूज saline sea water into the arable agriculture land, and that makes arable agriculture land saline. Nagapattinam district of Tamil Nadu, agriculture could not be pursued for the next 5 years because soil became so saline it was unfit for cultivation. So tsunami ke damages there are a lot of damages caused by tsunami. So we'll continue the discussion.